Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we bring you a heartbreaking story out of Ibadan or your state. This is actually a very emotional and heartbreaking story, like I said, a story that demands our reflection. While listening to the story, you reflect. It also demands for our accountability and above all our commitment to quit violence. Because in this channel we talk about violence, and which is why when things like this happen, we bring to your notice on why you always need to speak against violence and also stay safe and play your part as a citizen in order never to be involved in any form of violence. Let's dive into the story. So, this story is actually a story about a man. That man is a father who was simply trying to get his twin boys to school for one of the most important days of their lives. So, this father was taking his twin boys to school for exam, but it's also a story of a fatal decision because we have mentioned that he was taking these two kids to school for important reason, for something that is very important to them. But also, I want you to know that this story is also about a fatal decision, a fatal response, and a young life lost to a bullet that should never have been fired. We know that there are some bullets that should have been fired, the bullets which protect the citizens, but there are ones which shouldn't be fired, the ones that take the life of the citizens. According to reports, this man was said to have taken a wrong part of the road. The police flagged him down while he was taking the wrong part of the road. The police flagged him down, but he didn't stop. He was flagged down because he was taking a wrong lane of the road, but he didn't stop. Maybe he panicked. There might be reasons why he didn't stop. Maybe he panicked. Maybe he didn't want to be delayed on such a crucial day. But whatever his reasons are, he made a dangerous choice. Believe you me that he made a very dangerous choice. He refused to stop for the police and kept driving. We know that in that moment, fear and desperation clashed with law enforcement. The police pursued him, but what should have been a routine stop turned into a chase, and then a series of gunshots rang out. Remember, there was no place we said that this car was carrying criminals. It wasn't loaded with weapons. It carried a father and his sons, teenage boys with dreams, books, and school uniforms. And tragically, one of those dreams ended right there. The dreams of these boys. That takes me back to what the man said while he was interviewed. He said that few days before this happened, that his son said, the same son that lost his life, said he would want to be a lawyer when he grows. So this boy had a dream. This boy had vision, and this particular vision, this particular dreams, everything ended instantly in a pool of his blood as a stray bullet hit one of those twins, which is the same one that said he would want to be a lawyer when he grows. Violence. Police brutality. I know in this channel we've talked about police brutality. Now let's be clear on this. The father made a terrible mistake. Refusing to stop for the police was wrong. It was totally wrong, reckless even, especially when he had his children in the car. There are some decisions as a father you can take when you are alone. You can say, I sacrificed my life, or I am doing this because of the children I have at home or there. There is still a decision which you will know that you are with your kids. You decide to take another direction of your thinking, because if he wasn't with any child, he said, okay, even if anything happens, I will answer for it. But he knew he was with his children. His children So before I forget, I even heard that this man had five of his kids inside the car. All his kids were inside the car, but when the gunshot came, it happened to hit one of them from the back. So in that moment, his fear of pride cost more than he could have ever imagined. The pride at that moment and fear. It might not be a pride, like we mentioned, things that might make him to take that decision. But at that moment, pride or fear or whatever cost more than he could ever imagine. Since we're talking about the father and the police involved, now let's talk about a mother who is mourning her son. A twin brother is left alone, and a father must live with the unimaginable, knowing his actions along with the police response led to the death of his child. The mother is mourning, the twin brother is left alone. Even the father who refused to stop for the police is left with that guilt, no matter how you see it, even if he's not at fault. That man, no matter how he tries to defend it, he is somewhere seated asking himself, why didn't I even stop for these police officers? Maybe this would have been remedied. This thing wouldn't have taken my child. That guilt will live with this man forever because this boy is just 14 years old. The guilt of the father, the mourning of the mother who carried this son for these two boys for 9 good months and raised them after that till the 14th year of his life, and now his life was lost because of mistake, because of recklessness, wickedness, and all of that. But that doesn't change the fact that the police failed. Gunfire should never be the first response to a non-violent traffic offense. This offense is a non-violent traffic offense, and gunfire should never be the first response to that. Their duty is to protect lives, remember, not to end them. The bullet that killed that boy was not just a mistake, it was a deadly abuse of power. That bullet that killed that boy was not just a mistake, because you can't call it a mistake. Someone that lifted the gun, cocked it and fired, knew that there is two things involved. Either that bullet hit someone, killed someone, or it doesn't. Now, when these two things are involved, you know that it might not, and people are inside the car. What was in his mind when he fired? Now, the same lives that should be protected was taken. So in this platform, we talk about violence all the time. When I talk, I remind you of the reason why we bring this point to this particular channel, because this is the reason this channel is out here talking about violence. This is what violence does. This thing we're talking about now, this tragedy, is what violence does. It doesn't care who is right or wrong. It only leaves pain, regret, and empty seats at dinner tables. From my voice, you feel how pained I am. I am feeling so pained and bitter inside me because of the dreams the small boy had, because of everything he has already set up for himself to be in the future. We need reform in how our police respond. We need accountability. We need training, but we also need citizens to obey lawful orders. Especially when lives are involved, especially young, innocent lives. When their lives are at stake, we need to reason from another angle, aside the way we reason. We've talked about police brutality, the way police people respond to most times they forget that they are dealing with human lives. This tragedy in Ibadan is not just a news story. No, it's not just about, it is a mirror. It shows us where we are failing as a society. This, you see the story, is showing us where we are failing as a society, and it demands that we choose a better path. Let's choose a better path. You as a citizen, you as a police officer, or any other officer out there, let's redirect our thinking, the way we reason, the way we take actions. So let's choose a better way to act, and it demands that we choose a better path. What is that better path to choose? The path with less fear, less ego, and zero tolerance for violence. No, as citizens, as as a country, as a state, anywhere you find yourself, give a zero tolerance for violence. Don't allow it. Don't be involved in violence. Don't take part. Advocate. Kick against violence anywhere you find yourself. You can be an advocate of peace anywhere you find yourself after. You can save a soul. On this channel, we are committed to saying it loud and clear. Quit violence. This channel, whenever you come across our video, is going to be about quit violence on the streets, in our homes, in our institutions, in our hearts, wherever the violence is coming from, within you, in your compound where you find yourself, in your community, in your school, out there in the street, anywhere at all, quit violence. Don't allow it at all. That is all we are committed to talk about on this channel, which is Quit Violence International. Even though this is a very emotional and heartbreaking story, but what do we do other than saying rest in peace to the young boy whose future was stolen? This boy's future was stolen. That's all we have to say. Rest in peace to him, and may we honor his memory not just with words but with change. As a police officer out there, as anybody you are, as a citizen, wherever you find yourself, let the death of this young boy that had future, let it minister something to you on why you need to speak against violence and why you need to stay safe out there. If you have watched this video to this very end, thank you very much, and please do not forget that the only topics discussed here are just not random topics but important topics, which is why you need to, if you haven't subscribed to Quit Violence International, this is the time for you to touch that subscribe button. In fact, smash the subscribe button, like this video, comment, share your thoughts on what you think about this tragedy that just happened. Let's talk about it, and let's put hands together to fight against violence. And till our next video. Bye.